What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to break down why tomorrow is going to be an absolutely massive day for the overall stock market, for every single stock out there, for Chinese stocks, for consumer discretionaries, for NIO, because we have the debt ceiling meeting tomorrow. That's going to be massive. So I'm going to break down how that may affect SPY, the QQQ, and Tesla, and also for NIO, and talk about some big news affecting NIO as well. Before I do so, though, before I get into any more details about NIO, let me just mention a couple of things real quick. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, or actually any amount of money, whether it's $1 or 100, it's up to you. You're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And the best part is, any could be a free NIO or Tesla share. The offer ends in just 2 weeks. Check it out before they run out. And remember, you just have to put in at least $1 and you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. So anyways, let's talk about NIO, what happened to NIO. In my previous video, I told you NIO had a bullish divergence developing. We'd likely see a bounce on NIO. But I wasn't sure if NIO would keep pumping by the end of the day or if NIO would peak and then kind of sell off a little bit as the day went on, but still close green. And I said that because of the Fed speakers. I wasn't sure what they would say, but overall, I was anticipating a bounce for NIO, and that is what we ended up getting. But the real question is, how is tomorrow going to play out? And I'm not 100% sure about how this is going to look, because we're really going to depend and react to a massive piece of news, and that is the whole debt ceiling fiasco right now. So there's the news saying that the Treasury Yellen has reaffirmed that the U.S. could run out of money to pay bills by early June. That is very serious, and we're getting closer to this. Now that could lead to more fear and more volatility in the markets. However, regarding the situation, we have President Joe Biden and McCarthy meeting up tomorrow to discuss the debt limit deal. This is very, very important because you have two sides of the political aisle who are going to be, fighting over this, and they're easily going to be able to play politics and blame the other for any potential delays. They have historically delayed this a lot, and they oftentimes don't make a big move until the last minute. So that's what I'm seeing going on right now, and I think this could oftentimes, like before, it's likely going to lead to downside in the stock market for the more medium term. But for tomorrow specifically, I'm not sure how it's going to go, because it is possible for us to get a temporary pump or even start crashing depending on what happens during the meeting. I just don't really know. I wish I knew, but I don't. And I think this is going to be the biggest thing, because this was just like breaking news about the meeting. This was not expected to happen. This was expected to happen way sooner, but it ended up getting delayed. But at least they're meeting up and going to discuss this. McCarthy also said that he's open to closing a deal because they need to do so, or else there's a risk of defaults, and we're getting closer to it. So something has to be done. Now, as far as the market is looking, SPY has a very, very weak looking options chain for tomorrow and Wednesday. 1.25 to 1.38 put to call ratio, 411 to 412 max pain, and not too many options expiring. Additionally, when you look at Tuesday, we have some Fed speakers. We have Mester. The market may just trade sideways when they speak. Bostic might slow the market down a little bit. Barr could also do that. Williams tends to be in the middle, and I think Logan is in the middle, maybe a little bit more hawkish. Overall, it's a little bit more, excuse me, sorry guys, it's a little bit more hawkish Fed speakers that are coming out for tomorrow relative to the more dovish ones, but most of them are kind of in the middle, so I don't expect that to be as serious as before. And as far as NIO goes, on May 15th, NIO Netherlands launched its newest power swap station. This is going to be located at the Shell gas station over there, and I believe this is pronounced Harmelin. Harmelin, I think that's how it's said. And their users in the Netherlands could also experience the power swap in another part of in other regions as well in the Netherlands. So I consider this great news. People are going to continue to use their cars, and battery swapping is just becoming more popular. It's very convenient for people over there. Now, as far as the price pairs ratio, right now it's relatively low for NIO. It has been underperforming. Barclays is saying NIO is going to perform equally with the markets, and NIO tends to be green about 55% of the time on Tuesdays historically. The strongest hour tends to be during the fourth and about the 6 hours of the day. NIO tends to be the strongest. And then for May, NIO is only green about 59% of the time. So May tends to be a good month for NIO. And finally, the short interest on NIO did go up to about 6.2 million. So please be very careful. We have about 35 million in NIO's volume, and I am anticipating that we might continue to see an improvement in volume. We need more volume on NIO for it to continue to hold up, but it did get a bounce like I predicted. Now, if NIO ends up pumping more tomorrow, because look, I can't really predict it 100% accurately or as confidently. It really depends on what happens between Biden and McCarthy. However, if the market pumps, NIO is going to hit 8.5. Okay? If the market starts to slow down and NIO slows down with it, NIO is going to make its way back to 8 and 7.9, and it could even drop a little lower than that. All right? For SPY, if we are bullish, the first thing I want to note is that when we zoom out of the charts, we are forming this wedge where we're getting like tighter and tighter. It's more of a pennant than a wedge. We're just getting tighter and tighter. We might end up gapping down tomorrow and then try to push up from there. But as of right now, resistance is going to be around the 412s because it's once again in the downtrend. And then support is going to be around the 410.8 area. So 412 point like 413 to 412.9 is where resistance is going to be heavy, and then support is going to be around the 410s. Now, if we break in either direction, we could see a big spike in volatility and a big move in either direction as the market's getting tighter. But once again, I don't truly know yet which way we're going to go, but I'm still holding my same claim, and that is right now the technicals look more bearish for the medium term. It's very likely that during June, or as we approach June, the market's going to start downtrending. It's very, very likely, okay? However, like I said before, just because we might and we very likely will begin to downtrend as we approach the month of June, it does not mean we have to just crash tomorrow or even rally tomorrow. Right? I don't really know how tomorrow is going to go, so I'm just going to be patient for now. And it all depends on what happens with the meeting. I think we will gap down in the morning, try to pump a little bit, and we have these support and resistance levels as we get very tight. But if we break to the upside, if there's like a lot of progress on the deal, this could help the market, pump temporarily. Is it going to be an all-time high pump? No. Is it going to be a crazy big pump? I don't think so. But the bottom line is I still see more downside for the medium term. For tomorrow specifically, just watch these levels carefully. If something bad happens and the deal is not passed and no progress is made and the market starts to react negatively to it, make sure you watch those 410 areas, especially 410.7 and 410.23. If it breaks below this, if we break below 410.23, we might see this thing come all the way down to the 409s. So like I said, guys, I know you prefer me like giving a prediction. I just don't know. It depends on the meeting. That's really all I could say, but I will give you guys better predictions in the future. For the QQQ, this is so far holding up okay, but there's a clear bearish divergence that has been developing, and it's looking more bearish as we have a rising wedge-like pattern. What that tells me is that NASDAQ and the QQQ are most likely going to get rug pulled by the time we approach June. But before that, we could hold up temporarily. Major resistance is going to be around 327. Major support is going to be around 325. We're going to be stuck in the middle for tomorrow, but if we break down below 325, it's going to come all the way down to possibly 324, then 322.94. And if we start breaking even lower, I mean, there are a lot of gaps to start filling, and this rising wedge could lead to a big rug pull. I just don't know when the rug pull is going to come. It could take a little bit longer now. It just depends on the news. But like I said before, okay, it's most likely going to still come for the medium term, a bigger rug pull. It could even start tomorrow depending on what happens during the meeting. So be very open-minded. Finally, Tesla's relatively weak. It was supposed to get a bounce looking at the divergence. It got a tiny bounce, right? It actually reached 170, but it failed to break out and even do anything too significant. And overall, it has relative weakness now as shorts are continuing to pile in. That's telling me that Tesla is just going to react to the market. If we get some good news involving the debt ceiling, we could see Tesla trying to make its way back to 170. If that breaks, there's 172.5. If it fails, if we don't get good news for Tesla, it's going to make its way down to 163. If that fails, just 160. Okay, so I'm kind of in the middle for now. I know you don't want to hear that, but I'm just going to be honest. It depends on what happens with Joe Biden and Kevin McCarthy. If they give us a good deal, market could keep going. If not, If they can't come or make any progress on the deal, could be negative, okay? Same thing for NIO, like I mentioned, so don't forget about the levels. And with that said, I want to just thank you all so much for listening. Don't forget I have some merch for you guys if you're interested in buying anything. And don't forget about the Weeble link. The offer ends very, very soon. The merch can be found around the comment section if you want to buy a hoodie or a t-shirt or something like that. Feel free to check it out. With that said, thank you for listening. Have a great rest of the day. NIO to the moon because the long term is very bright. And peace